All right, welcome back to the Maine Bowler Blog interview with USBC Silver Level coach Jimmy Clark. And we've been talking about Jimmy's evolution as a bowler. We got into some of his accomplishments, talked about the PBA Maine shootout that just happened here this past March. And now I'd like to get into some of the pro shop stuff. Jimmy, obviously you work at Moore's Pro Shop. And what kind of got you into the pro shop industry? Obviously you started well before, coming down here to Moore's. What got you into the pro shop business, and what do you enjoy the most about doing it?
Well, I think the pro shop stuff started when I first came to Maine. I got talking when, obviously my father was a huge influence and got me going, and he did a lot of the drilling, so I kind of started asking more questions. Basically what it was, I was very interested in why things worked. Back to how I try to get people is make sure you understand why. So anyways, I got talking with him to try to understand drillings and get things going with that. So then it got into fit and why things fit that way, and
technical difficulties sometimes.
So that got me going into why things worked and how they fit on my hand. That was pretty good. Sorry.
Hey, when you're live on video like this, you never know what's going to happen.
So I got playing around with how your hands worked. I used a ball fitting ball, the Jayhawk, which is incredible. I really believe to help get somebody a good feel of what you're trying to do for them, especially for the first time, it's really nice to give them an idea where you're going with, just for confidence.
Absolutely.
So my dad kind of taught me on how that went. So then it became equipment. Again, at 16, so we're talking 21 years ago, we're at, what, 1995, 96-ish?
Yep.
So we'd already gotten into the reactive resin bowling balls, and now we were starting to get into the physics part of it and start putting shapes inside of it. So when I moved here, I went to Herman High School in Herman, Maine, and my senior year, I had a physics teacher who was, kind of a nerd just as I am. I looked up some bowling balls on his computer, and he's like, "What are you looking at?" So I told him bowling balls, and he's like, "Bowling balls?" Like, most people are like, bowling balls. It's a round object, you hurl at pins.
Completely foreign subject here.
So I kind of showed him how there was shapes inside and how they worked, and talked about how they spin. And as soon as he put that in his brain, he ran with it. He was like, "Oh my God, this is awesome." So right from there, he kind of was like, "Dude, how'd you bowl? How'd you bowl?" Which kind of now intrigued me even more onto why things work that way.
Sure.
So now, as much as how it fit in my hand became interesting, especially for my personal thing, because at that point I wanted to do the best I could. Okay, for me, greedy or not, I was being a sponge for this. A sponge has to suck it up for itself.
Yep.
So I wanted it for me. So I played with my hand, fits to get things to feel good, so it was easier, less grip pressure, and understood. And again, back to the physics part with my teacher, Mr. Pellerin. It just helped with the physics part to get more efficiency.
Yeah, absolutely.
So at that point through high school, it got better, got into more people, more knowledge. Again, asking more questions. I started to drill bowling balls for other people. So again, looking at other people's hands and kind of working on how they worked. And that brought also into trying to help them understand why or how and why you deliver the bowling ball a certain way.
Sure.
At times, some people just pick it up. Yeah. Right now, Mookie Betts is an incredible baseball player, and he's an incredible bowler.
Yep.
He's just good. He's
naturally
really
gifted athlete.
Yep. So naturally gifted athletes, 100%. But certain people, you can still teach. Bowling is, if you want to learn bowling, you can learn. So as I went and got more knowledge through seminars, through different clinics, working with different professionals. I've done lessons with Mike Jazz now, who is out at Lane 81 at the National Bowling Stadium, who is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, amazing coach, amazing mind.
He's a silver level coach, and not to put anything against everything, but he's a silver level coach. There's only, what, I think 26, 27 gold level coaches in the world. And nothing against any one of them, but he's as good as them, if not better.
He's fantastic.
And some of it could be the resource with having Lane 81 and the CAT system set up. It doesn't matter. I don't care. He's that good.
Yeah.
He works with the best. So anyways, back to the knowledge part of it. So as you work with these guys, you get more knowledge.
Sure.
And the more knowledge you have, the better you can be, as long as you can apply it. So as much as going to, like, the IPSIA puts on the International Bowling Pro Shops Association or whatever, as much as you can go to these things and get the certification, you still have to be able to apply the knowledge.
Exactly.
So to be back to me being back to the why of everything is you want to understand why. You can explain the why. So now you try to make it simpler for people to understand. So if you can relate to them, it makes it easier.
Right.
So when you go to the pro shop and you start playing with people's fit, you now start getting more into what they're trying to do, what they're trying to feel.
So what you're doing is, you know, obviously I've worked in the shop with Scott for a long time, but I've learned a lot from you, just listening to the way that you individualize the pro shop experience. So it's not like not like a copy and paste type of thing. I mean, when you're talking about in the pro shop, each person is their own individual fit, their own individual wants and needs. What do they want out of the sport? Do they want it more for just, hey, I bowl 1 day a week and I just want to have fun, or hey, I want to take my game to the next level? Either way, you're kind of tailoring that experience to each person, which is something I think that you are incredible at, and you really make each person realize their full potential when they're in the shop and then out on the lanes with you, and it's pretty incredible to watch.
I appreciate that, James. That's nice. That's awesome to hear. And I think that's what made Scott and I's relationship kind of hit off pretty good. When I first moved to the area, as you had said, I just recently got to Moore's probably, I think, 3 years ago now, maybe even 3.5. Probably not soon enough, let's say, just because of the way things have gone. But anyways, when I first got there, Scott had no issues with me bowling there. He trusted everything I had and done. But I was bringing new customers there. That was 100% what it was. I didn't work with any of the older customers, not because I wasn't qualified or didn't know or anything like that. It was just that was what Scott did. It was the Moore's Pro Shop, 100%. So once I first got there and started working there, the more he listened and just watched, and we both had the same concept. So whether they're right or wrong, we're both leading people in the right direction.
Sure.
And when people come in, as you said, 100%, we're just looking to make things for you more efficient so you can enjoy the sport more. As much as change might be initially a little different, as you think about anything, if it's easier to do, you would like to do it more because you see more success.
Absolutely.
So as personal can be, everybody's hand's different. I mean, these fingers work differently. This guy's different. Flexibility, the way your hands twist and turn. It takes a couple minutes. I'm going to draw a map of your hand. We're going to make things work for you.
Sure.
You yourself have gone through several different grip changes. I've gone through grip changes. Your hands change. Just as you grow, whether it's height, weight, anything, injuries, it all makes a humongous difference. Again, back to you, James. You had your wrist surgery.
Yeah, I had major wrist surgery.
We checked things, and we only tweaked the pitch just a little, but it was a little change.
Absolutely.
Okay, to keep things working and moving forward.
Yep.
If it just reduces the effort you put in by 5%, that 5% means you're getting better efficiency out of everything you do. Yep. So every shot got better because you took 10 minutes to get your grip checked.
Absolutely. Yep.
We have certain bowlers, we won't mention his name, we bowled with him tonight, he bowled very well, should probably get his grip checked. But as well as he's bowling, it's also, yes, rough to say, but at the same point in time, the biggest thing that showed me that everybody needs to was a very 10-second conversation, I believe, with Rhino Page. After he had hurt his wrist, I see him back, I believe it was at the Masters, he was throwing 14-pound equipment. And he said it was his first tournament back. And I was like, huh. I was like, so how did you hurt your wrist? He said it was a bad fit. So here's Rhino Page, incredible bowler.
Yeah, professional bowler.
Who had won titles. He just thought it was natural that your hand hurt because you were using it, or your wrist hurt because you were using it. Ended up having micro trauma and ended up having wrist surgery.
Yep, yep.
Okay, so as you're making your hand do things it doesn't want to, and forcing pressure in certain places, you definitely can hurt yourself. Fit is definitely a good thing. Go to your local pro shop. Ask questions. Again, my opinion is if I can't support what I'm asking you to do or telling you to do with reasons that you understand, ask another question. Make him give you a little confidence what he's doing.
Absolutely.
Again, as we've changed your stuff, 100% is not a question. There's no question in your mind. We just recently changed your wife's band.
Yep.
And she was having discomfort.
Yep. She was at a point where she didn't really think she was going to be able to bowl because she was having too much discomfort in her hand. Obviously, as you age, things change. possibly arthritis type of thing start to develop. You got her into a different span, got her into vacuum grips, and now she bowls with no pain. It's unbelievable, the difference.
These little adjustments can make a big difference. Yep. It's the importance of the pro shop.
Yep.
For sure. And it just leads into, okay, so as you said, she has no pain, so she can now bowl better.
Yep, absolutely.
Her efficiency with execution.
And enjoy the sport more. That's the key too. So, speaking of enjoying the sport more, your coaching. Let's talk a little bit about that. Obviously, every step up the coaching ladder is harder and harder. Level 1, obviously, is the easiest one to obtain. Bronze level is a huge step up from that. And then where you're at now at silver level is an incredibly much higher step up from that. And, talk about that a little bit and kind of where you see yourself with you do such an incredible job with so many people in and around the state. I see so many great stories of people talking about what Jimmy's meant to their game. And it's really amazing. Like every day you hear another success story. And it truly is awesome to have a silver level coach up here that cares so much about our bowlers. What has that meant to you, and where do you see yourself in the future with that?
It means a lot, James. I appreciate hearing that. And I mean, I know you've said it before, and it's always good to hear. Anybody compliment you is obviously a good thing. Pat on the back, whatever, ego boost, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, it's always good to have people talk good about you. But as far as the coaching part of it, I did level 1 and level 2 quite a few years ago. Again, at that point in time, unfortunately, it was for personal gain. But again, it was knowledge. I was a sponge. I was sucking up as much knowledge as possible. So then probably, I think it was 4 or 5 years ago, I really started thinking that, I wanted to get more knowledge about it. And unfortunately, it was probably because I was just getting a little older. I was doing construction physically. It was just more taxing. And if I could somehow make bowling work a little bit financially, that I would enjoy it a lot better and be just a lot happier.
Absolutely.
I had a lot of knowledge to give, so I needed to give it. So anyway, I went back and I went to Ohio for the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Worked with Ron Hatfield. He was our instructor. Incredible guy, fun, and that was the best part of the course. He was fun.
Yep.
He made it entertaining. As much as you were learning in the classroom, it was entertaining, and maybe I found more entertainment out of it because I was still learning about the sport I love.
Sure.
So we went through that. We worked on the lanes, and I had such a great time working on the lanes. We picked up a couple things with ball fits with people that were actually getting new bowling balls that thought their old bowling balls felt well.
Sure.
So we kind of brought that fit, like, again, back to the pro shop part of it. Yeah. They mixed. But anyways, so we had her get that checked. Went to a couple other people and fixed some timing. So when we back in the classroom, certain things were brought out by Ron. It made it great. So anyways, you had to be a bronze level. I got certified as a bronze level. I took the test, passed. Everything. Again, a lot of the information I knew, but I got to strengthen certain things, change my perspective on a couple other things, and make myself that much more aware of it. So I started giving some more lessons at that point to gain knowledge and gain more, start spreading the wealth, I guess. Had a lot of knowledge. Or I felt I did. So I started pressing that to people, not forcefully, but again, in a fun way, to enjoy it, to figure out the efficiency. So it becomes fun, a game, and you understand success and failure.
Sure.
And you relate that to people. So any sport relates to bowling, and I can make that happen. Or at least I feel that. So I went through a full year doing lessons, a little bit here and there. Then I went back and went for their silver course.
Right.
Went to Buffalo, where the junior gold was. Worked with Stephen Padilla. Got to see Ron Hatfield again. Killer guy. And just talked bowling again. Went through the silver level course. Days flew by. 8 hours in the classroom just was like, dude, we're going home? All right, let's go tomorrow. We went Sunday. You go and work with a bowler. We went there, and me and this guy, John Knight, he's in New York. He's pretty killer. John, awesome guy. Anyways, we paired up. Everybody paired up. So him and I paired up, and we picked the best bowler that was there. 100%. This guy was awesome. Wicked strong bowler. 235 average on the house shot. Competed in PBA regionals. Like, hi, let's go. Let's see what's happening. So we worked with him, and we worked with, we started watching him, and we're talking. And we 100% picked up a little bit of his tendency and found where his shoulder movement was kind of getting him in trouble. Talked with Stephen Padilla a little bit about it, and he's like, "Oh yeah, dude, it's 100%. Like, you know, that's exactly."
You guys are on the right track. With
we
that.
were right where you needed to be, and
Yeah.
just talked about the lower, but like, dude nailed it.
Nice.
So I got to take the test. The test was very tricky because you have to take a written test, which, you know, whatever, I took that, find it. But then you also get 4 videos. In the 4 videos, each video you have to find a strength that this bowler does and a weakness and why for both of them. So whatever was good, why it's good.
Sure.
Whatever's item of concern, I think is how USBC works.
Right.
Whatever. Whatever that issue is, you have to explain why. And they cannot contradict each other. So they have to be separate things, 100%. And I think that was my strength. But anyways, I passed it.
Yep.
So I got the silver certification, and I've just continued with the lessons. Right now, it's anywhere from beginners to high-level guys around the state. I'm actually going to be spreading it out and working with some guys out of state.
Yep.
Actually, I already have. I've had a couple guys from Massachusetts, Shawnee Cash, Danny Koo's come up, and worked with them a little bit, whether it's just drilling bowling balls. Again, just to try to help work things to be a little bit more, you know, spread the wealth, basically.
Yeah.
Totally, when it comes right down to it, as much as I want to win personally on the lanes, I can't win if nobody bowls. You can't win if nobody bowls.
Absolutely.
And if it's just you and I, I'm going to get tired beating you.
Good luck. Nice.
Anyways, who cares? But ultimately, it comes back to getting more people on the lanes.
Absolutely.
So the more we can spread that knowledge and that wealth and get it out there, the more people we can get out there.
Absolutely.
100%.
It's a great point. And like I said, I know you're going to go far with it. Really enjoy what you do for the people in the state of Maine. And, you know, thanks for getting into that part of your coaching, which is really good. And I definitely want to get into that and get that out there. So anyone looking to improve your game, come see this guy right here, Jimmy Clark. That's going to take us to the end of this segment. We're going to get more into a little bit more fun stuff here, talking about some staff stuff, talking about what some certain things mean to Jimmy, and then we're going to get a little rapid fire question segment, so don't go anywhere.